Hey guys, Clumsy here. Welcome back to ATS OwnOps. We are in part 3 of our long haul from Colorado, I believe, right? Junction all the way to Kennewick in Washington. So midway point, maybe 1 or 2 parts more and we'll get there. And we should have a very nice payout, 33k, which should be pretty good in terms of paying off our loans soon. So that's like 1/3 of the amount that we need to pay off, more or less. Anyway, one step at a time. Still in our rusty Mack R here. Let's get going. It is pretty early though, 5:47 a.m. and we are currently in early autumn, the mod. So the daytimes, the sunrise is a bit later. So that means, yes, it's super dark right now. We'll get there. Just believe me, we're somewhere here in the vicinity. There we are. Alright, let's go and get on the road while it's early. So the rusty parts aren't as obvious, aren't as visible to the others. It's not as scary looking. No, but actually the rust is kind of growing on me. Maybe that's not a good thing, huh? But yeah, I'm getting used to the rust. But actually, that might be a good point. 1 second. Oh, there's actually an entire road here that joins the highway. There we go. It's a bit harder to see at night. And yes, I'm actually recording this after, not right after the previous one. I actually literally took a break as well, the same as our driver here, because I think I mentioned it briefly. 1 second. Cannot find my gear. There we go. I think I mentioned it briefly in the previous part. That my throat was actually getting a bit dry, so I had to take a break. And although I didn't want to, I really wanted to finish the trip in one go. I had to. But thankfully the trip didn't reset, so here we are continuing off where we actually stopped. That's as realistic as it gets when it comes to taking breaks. But yes, glad that it's continuing, that the game didn't reset in the meantime. Sometimes that happens when a mod updates or the game updates, then the game resets. The progress is still there, but your job is all the job is removed and you're reset to your default position, something along those lines. But yes, thankfully we are good. Where is Alan? Is Alan there somewhere? Did he run off? Oh, I'm not sure. He might have actually dropped off a while ago. 1 second. I keep losing my gear here. There we are. The game just reset my range to the low range. Sometimes that happens in very rare occasions, like with those huge stutters that happen from time to time. Even your gear gets forgotten somewhat. Oh, look at that. Beautiful lighting there. Like spotlight and everything. That's amazing. That's something you don't really see because I really almost always travel during daytime. So we should be in the highest gear now. 8 high indeed. Okay, good. And the top speed of this truck is more or less 55 miles, 60 maybe if really pushing it. So we can't really cover that much ground. That's something I'm hoping to upgrade eventually. But maybe that comes later on, after we've paid off the loan, after we've paid off the truck. After we've switched to a new truck, that is. Oy oy oy. AI cars have a hard time merging in here. There we are. Alright. Getting a bit more stable again. I've had some questions as well, what mods I have enabled here. Well, this is more info is always in the video description, so that's a good place to start. But yes, I understand there are some more advanced questions, and I'm happy to get those kinds of questions too. So, something about realistic roads. Have you guys tried it? Because I do have realistic roads enabled. It's you could say it's like at the bottom, not really at the bottom, but it's in the lower part of the load order, and above that is Grimes' early autumn mod. And I'm not sure if they play well with each other, because I think Grimes overwrites many of the road textures for autumn feels, right? Adding the leaves on the side like that. I think that kind of overwrites the realistic roads mod. So I don't think we are really getting the full effect of realistic roads here. That being said, that might actually be a blessing in disguise, because I've had some people comment when they try the mod, it's not for everyone, because sometimes it can be a bit too exaggerated, the textures in realistic roads. Some people find it too excessive, and they like the default ones more because it's more subtle, it's not too much in your face. So that might actually be a blessing in disguise. So I think moving forward, after we're done with this trip, I'll get rid of realistic roads first. We'll just stick with early autumn, and then we'll see. I would really love to switch to late autumn, but the reddish tint is really putting me off. I still haven't seen any comment where other people have tried it and are getting the same reddish tint, but I think it is because I see it from the screenshot from Grimes when he was showcasing the late autumn mod, and I think the overall reddish tint is always there. Is it like that in autumn? Really? In fall? I highly doubt it, because I've been to some places during autumn, during fall. Doesn't look as reddish as that for sure. So maybe in some cases, in certain times of the day, right? But not like midday. So yeah, it's really putting me off, and I'd rather not use it at all. So I think we'll stick with early autumn, and then maybe we can switch to, I don't know, frosty mod eventually, because time's flying and December is peaking out. Right? It's almost time for Christmas vibes if you're celebrating that. Oh, this is a nice road. I like the bend here. Like that road right there, is that from realistic roads or is that from Grimes? I never know anymore, but I am liking the textures, so no complaints here. Very nice. But yeah, I do miss this type of driving, just traveling long distances and just enjoying the scenery, seeing it change before our eyes. Traveling through different, how do you say, biomes maybe, right? Like forests, deserts, rivers, and highways all throughout, because we want to be at the most economical, most optimal route, most fuel efficient route. Speaking of fuel, how's my fuel level? 3/4 of the way, we're good. Oh, and yes, I wanted to avoid fueling up in Idaho in the first place. So when we get to Oregon, we should be able to gas up again. 1 second, where are we? I have no idea where we are. I think we're still in Idaho. Yes, I see an Idaho state route in there. Okay, so when we get to Oregon, we can gas up. And yes, good news guys, Alan is here. He didn't run off, he's too lazy for that. I think he just spent his time sleeping. And Keddy? Yes, bobbing his head as always. I think we're good. One thing I did want to talk about, everyone, is the paint job. So I know I've been, the rust is growing, both literally and figuratively, I guess, growing on me. But I'm not opposed to getting a brand new paint job, maybe even getting a stronger engine. I don't know. Depends on how much it is. But if it's cheap, like if it's less than 10k, I am okay with getting a paint job, removing the rust. Maybe that will speed up the truck as well, I don't know. Even if that delays paying off the debt a bit, I think we can celebrate a bit. Right, so I am good with that. I'm not sure what you guys would feel about it. Are you okay with getting rid of the rust? And which paint job would you select? Remember in the previous part, we did a bit of window shopping with the paint job. I think I got a comment leaning towards the black and orange paint job. I'm okay with that. So if you guys like, after this trip, we can go and upgrade and remove the rust. I think maybe we've earned it by then, right? Getting away from the rust, getting away from the shabby maintenance from Uncle Jack, from whom we got this truck from. Maybe that works. So let me know in the comments if you're okay, if you like that idea, if you want to get a new paint job, and which one would you prefer. And if you would like to keep the rust, then let me know as well, because that's the beauty in this series. We are not in this OwnOps series, we're not really dreaming of building an empire, hiring employees or whatnot. We're happy enough being an owner operator, so we only have one truck and we put all our TLC into it, right? We put all our attention to it. We keep it at its tip-top condition. And right now with the rust, tip-top condition might not be something that comes top of mind. So maybe it's good if we maybe shower it with a bit of attention from time to time. Because that guy, not the best looking truck right now. But yes, priority is still paying off the debt, but we can celebrate small wins from time to time. So maybe after we finish this long haul, we'll be paid around 33k. Maybe we can spend some of that for rebates. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we will adjust as necessary in the next episode. Alright, there we go. The fuel is not too bad anymore. So yeah, still not good. Has one of the smallest fuel tanks ever. I think only 150 gallons total consumption. We're in Nampa now. Interesting. Looking good right there. No cars. Merging lane though. There we go. Just coast here for a bit. Okay, I'm losing speed. Yes, the highways, the interstates in Idaho, very nice. Very nice. And I think this is from realistic roads, I'm not sure. But this seems to have a bit more texture in there. I'm kind of liking it. So maybe this combo isn't too bad either. Maybe it's the right balance, because in some roads, the realistic roads effect does take place. Like this one, maybe, I'm guessing. And then in other areas where the effect might be a bit more exaggerated, then we are getting the Grimes treatment with the fallen leaves on the road kind of thing. So it doesn't really blow out of proportion. That's the hope. That's the hope. We will see. Right, I'm wondering if we can finish this in one go. When we started this episode, we did have 400 miles left for us. So maybe a one long episode if we can remain on the highway, that would be great. Could be. It looks like we are getting to Oregon soon. There it is. Perfect. Welcome to Oregon. Perfect. So any point from here, we should be able to gas up, because here in Oregon it's a lot cheaper compared to Idaho, and I think compared to Washington it's also cheaper. Nice bridge there. Welcome to Oregon sign. Anyone watching who's from Oregon? Raise your hands, let me know. And let me know what you like about Oregon. What you love about living there. I've never been. Farthest I've been in the US north is San Francisco, I think. And only once. So not an expert at all. I'm trying to remember what season we went there. I think it's sometime in maybe spring, if I remember correctly. Yeah, maybe end of spring, start of summer, something like that, mid-year. But yeah, I have very vague memories about it. But then again, in San Francisco, I'm not sure if autumn takes into effect. At least if you get those yellow trees as well. Maybe not as much as the northern parts of the country. Yeah, might be. Oh, and yes, we also have to be very careful here, because Oregon is one of the older DLCs, so the roads are not yet as well mapped, I would say. Some interstates are pretty bendy, too bendy for safe driving, I would say. You really have to slow down. The good thing is, with our truck, we're like perma slowed down. We're slowed down 100% anyway, top speed of 60 miles per hour. So I think we shouldn't have to worry about that too much. But I think this is the one actually. You see that bend? Might be. Is this interstate? No, this is not it. We're on 84 north here. Looks like this is downhill though. Incident ahead. Okay, thankfully they're on the right side. Slow down a bit here. Just jake brake until that guy accelerates. There we go. As much as possible. 84 west actually. It's west, but kind of goes north and west, northwest. As much as possible, I don't want to change lanes. Being a truck, we're not as agile as the normal cars, right? So I do want to stay in my lane most of the time. And just let it go. Let them be. If I have to slow down because there's a slow guy in front of me, I will slow down. And let them pass, let them accelerate on their own pace. Safety first. We don't want any penalties. We have lots of time before we have to go. We have 26 hours left in this job before we are tagged as late. We have 26 hours. You can see remaining there. And if you look at the miles left, we have 200 miles left. So we'll be there in 3 hours. So plenty of time. No need to rush. Struggling a bit here. Bit steep. So you guys think we can finish? I think we can finish in one go. Yeah, I think I'd like to finish. I do see a gas station up ahead, but if it's only 200 miles anyway. One second, let's plan this. I do want to fuel up before we move to Washington, just so I can save a few bucks. But I'm not sure if that's the edge already. I don't think so. There might be something that's closer. And I don't want to stop, because that will make us lose our momentum. We'll have to start from zero again, our speed. And that's always the least economical option, right? As much as possible, you want to be cruising. You don't want many corners. You don't want many bends that make you slow down. Remaining on cruising speed is ideal. So let's see. Man, this is nice here. So cozy here in Oregon. I'm also trying to distinguish if autumn is taking into effect in this area. I do see some trees browning out, yellowing, but lots of evergreen trees here. Yes, I know about that now. Thanks to you guys. And yes, this is actually perfect, this direction that we're taking northwest, right? Because as you guys might have seen in the previous stream where I showcased the upcoming ProMods 1.1 update, ProMods Canada is looking even more amazing with its upcoming version for 1.42 ATS. So that's definitely something I would like to add here in this profile. We'd be moving over, we'd be visiting Canada. Oh, look at the combination of those trees. I love it. Very subtle, just very little autumn vibes there, but it's there, right? And this is exactly how the trees look like. I'm not sure. It was Miguel. Yes, Miguel is one of our subscribers, and he's a real-life truck driver, and he videos his journeys. He made a time-lapse video at one point, and then look at this, beautiful. And he posted it in Discord. Oh, this is the one. This is the one that's dangerous. Look at this. I have to slow down. Yeah, look at that bend there on the map. Too sharp for my liking. Train. So yes, he did a time lapse of his real life truck delivery, and I could see the trees on the sides. I'm not sure where that is actually, Miguel. If you're watching this, can you comment where that was? And it actually looked like this, even at this time of the year, where I was assuming that most of the trees would have browned out and would have fallen off their leaves by now, preparing for winter. I would have assumed that most of the trees would have no leaves anymore, but it actually looks more like this in his video. Oh my goodness, look at that. Yeah, not my best, but my most liked highway, this part. Looks too sharp to me. This looks more like a product of a wrong scaled map, right? Because it's a 1:19, was it? The 1:19 scaled map. So 1 kilometer in game is equivalent to 19 kilometers distance traveled in game, something along those lines. I'm not sure if it's kilometers or miles, but you get the point. So if you squish a road in a 1:19 factor, then the squishiness, the bendiness, the curves also accentuate, right? They also become sharper, and I think this is a product of that. I have my doubts that this is really how bendy these roads are here in this part of Oregon, in 84 West. What was that? Look at how much money we have, guys. 231. Oh my goodness, we really have to finish it. 231. Because we just paid off the loan, I think. Yes, we paid off the loan for the day. Oh my goodness, yes, we really need money. So I'm not sure anymore if we have enough money for a new paint job, because it looks like we are. Yikes. Yeah, we might be struggling here. But yeah, I am liking these textures on the ground. I'm not sure. It looks like something from Realistic Roads mod. But you know what? I just can't really remember how the default ones look like. So maybe I'm just imagining things. You guys let me know if you're more familiar with it, okay? But I am liking how this road looks like. It's not too overblown. And there are some textures in there, right? Markings and whatnot. I like it. So you let me know if that's from the default game, or if that's a product of Realistic Roads, or maybe that is from Grimes Autumn mod. Not so sure anymore. 6% downgrade ahead. Yikes. Okay, have to be careful. Alright. And there is a sharp lane coming up, I think. There's also a way station. Okay, let's see if we'll have to stop. We'll look at that W pass. What do you call that thing? That blue pass, electronic pass thing, which signals us if we need to stop or not. By the time we cross that device there, pre-clearance side, there we go. Should get an indication. There we go, it's red, so we have to stop at the way station. We also hear it beeping. Sometimes you get lucky with it. Oftentimes not really. Okay, let's go and slow down here. Just floating my gears so we can make use of the Jake brake. I'm hardly stepping on the brakes here, because the Jake brakes can be super powerful. Right, looks like lots of guys tagged. Actually, no, it's just one guy in front of us. Okay, we'll wait for him. Oh, look at that truck. You sure you guys want to replace this rustiness? I have mixed feelings about it. Alright. Good. Let's go and get ourselves weighed here. 35 tons. That's how much? I don't know, around 70,000 pounds in total. Did I compute that right? I always mess up my conversion. There we go. Beautiful. And I don't think we need our lights anymore. It's daytime anyway. In the US, I think you only need your headlights. Well, I guess it depends on per state, huh? But I think mostly you only need it when it's getting dark. Unlike in some European countries, you need your lights 24/7. And the best way to know which is which is by looking at the AI drivers. We pick on the drivers, the AI drivers, most of the time because of their weird behaviors. But actually, when it comes to that, knowing if you need your headlights on or off, you can actually use them as reference reliably. So they do have their worth there. So slow it down. Did say 50 would be a nice speed here at this bend, but find it a bit too sharp even for 50. So let's slow it down even more. Easy does it. With 231 bucks in our wallet, in our bank even, not only in our wallet. Yes, I think we would really need to slow down and be careful. Safety first. Here we go. Oh, this is the grade that they are talking about there, man. That's why we have runaway truck ramps here now. Very nice. Although I believe in the game right now, the runaway truck ramps aren't very useful. I think the physics still has to be tweaked. Who was it? Was it Jeff Avignano who tested it out one time? Yeah, I think he had a video where he was checking out the runaway truck ramps from, was it Colorado, I think? And yeah, it didn't really stop him enough, I think. Let's use our Jake brakes here. Man, very powerful Jake brakes. Some Europeans don't like it because it's too noisy. It's not to their liking. But this, I believe, is the American way. And when you're in the US, do as the US folks do. So here we go. But yes, I'm liking it. The Jake brakes, I guess in real life I won't like it either. But as we are in the simulator, and we can be as loud as we want without anyone being hassled, the louder it is, the better it's going to be. Truckers FM. Oh, nice ad there. Very nice FM radio for trucking. I wish I could play it here, but YouTube will really get me there. The video might not release if I do that. Okay, let's have a quick look where we are. We have Pendleton. I'm not sure where the border is. Maybe it's best to stop here already, huh? And refuel just a bit. I'm not not sure. Is there a gas station nearby? There is something at the left side. I'm not sure if I can. Okay, let me pull up the map here. Yeah, Pendleton is indeed the last point where we can fuel up. So here, I think. Oh, but we'll have to loop around. No, we can do that. We can do that. Okay, so if you want to go here, you'll just have to take that like cloverleaf ramp out there, which is this guy right here, I think. Yes. I hope it's the one. Slow it down. There we go. So yes guys, this part might be a bit longer than the others. Bear with me, because I'm enjoying the trip and I don't want to cut it off in parts anymore, and I really want to get paid because 231 bucks, a bit too close for comfort for me. I do want a bit of emergency funds in there, and right now our emergency funds are all used up. That's not a good way to for the peace of mind, right? But yeah, let's jump into the financial aspect. Something you can apply even in real life. If you're just starting out and you're not yet familiar with these concepts, maybe you can learn a thing or two as well, right? Because with these simulators, oftentimes we can apply them in real life to at least some parts of it. Alright, let's go and move here. Because yes, ideally, we'd want an emergency fund, a certain amount that will allow us to sleep at night without worry. So even if unexpected things come, we won't get off guard, it won't catch us off guard, and we won't have to pay the price for it. So if we have a couple of thousand, in case we get into an accident, in case our truck breaks down, we have money to spare. And we've had that, but I think we've had one too many emergencies, so that fund is all used up. And I think it's time to fill that up again. So maybe at least 10k for my comfort. Look at the diesel price, $3.59. It's a bit expensive, but I think in Idaho it's like $4 per gallon. So yes, definitely cheaper. Definitely cheaper. Okay, here we are. Now I'm not sure if it's legal to turn left. Oh crap, does that mean I go negative? Oh yeah, I forgot about that item. We have overdraft now on the bank. Thankfully, this bank of ours is the kindest guy ever, because they don't actually charge any overdraft fees. In real life, that would be impossible, right? You would for sure have overdraft like that. Right, I believe, yes, here it's just like a friendly warning, but they don't actually penalize you, so there's no penalty for going negative. But in real life, there most likely is. So we better not do that often. So this what I'm doing might not be exactly legal, but if you don't tell, I won't either. We need that money. Oh my goodness. Now we have absolutely zero in the bank, and even owe a bit of money to the bank. Let's just say we found an extra 50 bucks in the glove compartment lying around. Nah, it's the only. Hopefully this is the only time we go negative. So this is our low point, guys, the lowest of the low. And sometimes it takes like that, right? Even in real life, sometimes it really takes an unfortunate event like this, when you feel like you're so down, you're at the bottom, and you feel like you have to turn things around, get your life in order, things like that. This is that point. So from this point on, we are going to really work hard. We're going to give it our best, and we are going to rise from the ashes, as they say. Lowest of the low. So from here on out, we are going to be striving towards having a proper emergency fund, saving up for and paying off the loans, and then enjoying life, because it's not all about money. Money is just the fuel, right? Money is just the means to have fun. It's not having money itself that's fun, it's what you can do with it, and what kind of peace of mind it gives you. So yes, money is not evil. It's something, it's a tool that we have to use for us, not against us. Have a look at that again. Minus 50. It pains me to see that. That's fine. Almost there, guys. 41 miles. Last 40 miles left. And we are moving over to Washington. And in future episodes, we'll make our way more to the north. In the next episode, I'll probably have Pro Mods enabled already. Pro Mods Canada enabled. I do want to go there and explore the roads there. It is beautiful. And maybe we'll stick with early autumn and realistic roads combination. We'll see how that feels. I love the purr of this engine. Really changes the revs depending on changes the sound depending on your revs, right? Depending on your RPM. You really hear the engine struggling. And with the 142 force feedback settings, I'm actually feeling it on my wheel as well. So I increased the engine resonance quite a bit. There we go. Which gear am I at? I think I'm in 6 high. I'm just feeling my shifter here, using my hand to feel where the buttons are. So I have an ALMAR SKRS shifter. If you're wondering what that could be, there should be a link below in the video description. And also there should be a video from me from years back when I first bought it. Google Clumsy, or you can search in YouTube here for the keywords Clumsy SKRS. That's a 4-letter word, SKRS. S for Sierra, K for Kilo, R for Roger, S for Sierra, SKRS. Actually, I'm not sure what that means. Is that like a trucking term? Trucking terminology? Is that a foreign word? Is that something that only got invented? Oh, here we go. Welcome to Washington, everybody. Is that something that only got invented in way station again? Green this time. Nice. Okay, good. Is the SKRS term has it only gotten invented with the simulators? Actually, that's a good question. I actually don't know. So maybe someone does. Let me know in the comments. But yes, it's a great tool to have if you're into trucking, if you've bought your wheel, if you have head tracking already. And the shifter is the next step for me. I would, if you're thinking of getting more serious in trucking, first of all, I would recommend getting a steering wheel, a proper steering wheel, at least 900 degrees of steering. Maybe get one of the Logitech or Thrustmaster ones. Really not sure which is better. I only had one wheel so far, so I don't have much experience with the wheels. I have a Logitech G27. Oh, look at that. Nice. The real company's mod. I'm loving it. I want a Big Mac. It's a cozy little town here. Not many people, just the way I like it. But yes, I recommend getting a steering wheel first and foremost. That's the top priority. Well, you have to have a decent enough PC first so that the game performs well enough for you. And well enough is a very subjective term. It depends on you. So if you're okay with the frame rate, if you're okay with the graphics, then that's okay. If not, then maybe that's the first thing you need to do. Upgrade your PC or get a new laptop, a gaming laptop, or whichever one works for you. Once that's done, save up for a steering wheel. Either a Logitech or a Thrustmaster would be more than enough. And then see how that feels. That will be the biggest, in my opinion, biggest immersion factor in feeling really how the game is like, how this trucking simulator is like. Once you get the wheel, things will really kick up like 100 notches in the realism, in the immersion factor. And so that's the biggest impact. If you still want more after that, then you can save up for a head tracker. There are different options out there. Track IR is what I'm using. In my opinion, it's the most fuss-free device. You do have to wear something for it to detect your head. So how it works, for those not familiar, is on top of your monitor there sits like an IR camera that detects the either reflections or the infrared signals depending on the device. But it's something that tracks your head movement, right? And on your head, you would wear something. Like for me, if you've watched my streams, I wear a cap. And that cap has like 3 reflector points. Those points are what gets detected by the camera sitting on top of the monitor. And that's how the device, the software, is able to detect which angle my head is facing. And it translates that into the game here. So if I look left, the game camera looks left. If I look right, it does that as well. So yeah, that's how it works. And some people don't like it because they don't want to wear anything on their head, and that's a perfectly reasonable explanation or reasonable justification, reasonable preference. I myself am not a huge fan of wearing something on my head. Not really. I don't really wear caps when I go out. I only wear caps when I'm trucking because of the need for head tracking. So that's one downside, but for me the accuracy and the fuss-free setup of it is worth it. So this is what I'm using, Track IR. But there are other alternatives. There are cheaper alternatives. There are more expensive alternatives, I think. Or I think there is one more expensive alternative. If you don't want wearing anything on your head, there is the Tobii Eye Tracker 5, I believe, which is a bit pricey, but I think it's very accurate now too with the 5th iteration. So you don't have to wear anything. It really tracks your head and the movements. So it interprets where your head is and how it's moving. I have no experience with it. I've had experience with the Tobii Eye Tracker 4. It was okay, but not as accurate as the Track IR. But the 5, they say, is a lot more accurate. So that can be an option for you too. And I think there are cheaper options as well, lots of cheaper options. If you go for, I think there is like a smartphone app, I forgot what the name is, Smooth Track or something like that. An app for iPhone and iOS, probably, for iOS and Android, where you kind of position your phone in front of you, under the monitor maybe, something like that. And then it tracks your head movement as well using the front-facing camera, something along those lines. And then you connect, there is a software that connects to your PC, and then that software would translate it to the game, something like that maybe, but it requires more steps, and it's not as maybe it's not as accurate, but it is much cheaper, like hundreds of bucks cheaper. So you get what you pay for, essentially. So if you can afford it, I would highly recommend Track IR, or maybe try out the Tobii Eye Tracker 5. And but yes, get yourself a head tracker if you're still craving for more after a steering wheel. Because this is the next step for immersion, I would say. And once you get that and you're happy, then you're good. But if you still want more after that, then the next step I would suggest is the shifter, the SKRS shifter. There are a couple of suppliers out there, eBay. This the one I got is ALMAR SKRS. ALMAR is the brand. He's a Polish guy, so the goods come from Poland, but it ships globally. So I had it shipped from Poland to Singapore. It took like 3 days or something, a week. I can't remember, but I say it in the video. And yeah, it works pretty well. Until now, I've had it for years. There are other alternatives as well. I think there are some that make US-specific shifters. But yeah, that will increase your immersion even more because you get to really shift in manual like the real truckers do. So you have like your shifter would have 2 switches in there, not buttons, but switches. So you can move from low to high splitter and low to high range. Splitter and range. That's how trucks shift. When you hear about trucks having 18 speed, 18 gear transmission, they don't really have 18 notches. Like imagine if you have a car with 5 speed or 6 speed, you have like 5 notches in there, right? In the gear, in the shifter. If a truck has 18 speeds, doesn't really have 18 notches. It still has the same 6 notches more or less. It just has those additional switches. So when you switch from low to high, it's a different set of gears, something like that, to put it simply. And just like that, after that bit of storytelling, here we are, guys. We made it. Time to get paid. Look at this massive thing. Our right, or left rather. Is this an asphalt miller? Goodness, that looks fancy. Anyway, without further ado, show me the money. 894 miles, 32 hours. Goodness, 33,000, no penalty at all. That took us to level 8 and almost level 9 at that. Very, very nice. Ooh, good question. What do you guys think? Fuel economy? Time for some proper fuel economy? Or should we go for even longer distances? That's tricky. That is tricky. Oh, yeah. Ini mo. Fuel economy? No, I think I'd want one more point at least. But look at that, guys. No more negative. 33,580. Okay, so you let me know what you want in the next episode, okay? If you want a new paint job, or we just save it towards the payment. 91k left to pay. So we need maybe 2 or 3 more jobs, but we'll make our way north. Next episode, I'll have Pro Mods Canada in here. So we'll have more areas here up north. Yeah. Alright. Thanks for watching anyway. Have a nice day, guys. We finished. We got paid. I like it. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day and catch you in the next one. Bye-bye. Clumsy Trucking.